Hey friends, it's me, Shannan. I'm here for a series that I'm calling Brushstrokes and Backstories. And in this one, I'm going to be talking about how I got my kittens. And I will be creating a watercolor landscape that I did while I was following a tutorial from Sarah Burns, I believe. So if you like watercolor, if you like kittens, then stick around because this one's going to be a good one. All right, so I have 4 cats. The oldest one, we call her Bean. Her actual name is Mad Hatter, but she knows the name Bean, we call her Bean. And she is almost 9 years old. Now, I'm going to tell you the story behind this because it is crazy. When my oldest daughter graduated from college, she moved back in with me. All the rest of my kids were still living at home, and she moved back in with me. Her best friend had a cat that was pregnant, and my daughter wanted the cat, and her best friend ended up giving the cat away to someone, and my daughter contacted that person and told her that she wanted the cat and ended up sneaking this cat into my house. At the time, we already had 4 cats. My oldest son had 2 cats and my younger daughter had 2 cats. So there were already 4 cats living in my house. Had an upstairs and a downstairs. There was like 5 bedrooms, 2 baths, whatever. I did not want any more cats. So she sneaks this cat, this pregnant cat, home and keeps it locked up in her room for about a week before one of the other kids finally tells me that there's a cat in her room. I lost it. So I find out there's a cat. I find out that not only that, she's pregnant. So we take her to the vet, confirm she's pregnant. They said it looked like she was probably going to have about 4 and that she was pretty close to delivering, like within a week. I agree to let this cat stay there in my daughter's room until she gave birth and the kittens could be given away. But I did not want the cat or the kittens out of her room because I did not want them to disrupt the other cats in the house. One Saturday morning, I hear this weird sound coming from my daughter's room. So I go in there and I realize that even though I had told her numerous times, you need to help the cat put together a place for her to have the babies, right? She did not do that. And so I walk in and her cat is giving birth on her bed, which, you know what? Consequences, honestly. So I keep an eye on her because normally cats just want to be left alone. Dogs need you there to help them, but cats want to just do it on their own. Wanda was the name of the mother. I don't think Wanda was very old. She might have been just like a little over 1.5 years, something like that. Who knows? I don't know anything about her before my daughter, basically my niece, got her. And so Wanda gives birth and she has 4 kittens. I think 2 of them she gave birth on my daughter's bed. And then I moved her down onto the floor in an area in my daughter's closet on a blanket. I just kind of kept watch on her. And she gave birth to the 4th kitten and just left it there instead of taking care of it. If you know anything about cats, when they give birth, the mom is supposed to bite them out of the amniotic sac and then clean them up. And she was so exhausted at that point that I don't think she was going to take care of that 4th kitten. So I picked the kitten up and I put her right in front of Wanda's face. And then she did start taking care of her. This cat could not figure out how to carry her own kittens. So we made a little bed for them in one of the laundry baskets so that they weren't like randomly crawling all over the place before they could see and stuff. When we were holding them or playing with them, if one of them started crying because they wanted to eat, the mom would go into the laundry basket and she would yell at us until we brought her babies because she could not figure out how to pick them up and carry them herself, which is the weirdest thing in the world. I think about it now, like cats that give birth out in nature and take care of their baby. I don't know. It was just so weird. Kittens are always adorable. Kittens are so cute, right? I want to say, can't remember if at this time my son was getting ready to take his cats with him to school. But anyways, the kittens started growing up and the 4th one that was born, the one that I picked up, she really took to me. She felt like she was my mother. And there was one more that we really liked. And I had told the kids we were not keeping any of the kittens. And so both of my daughters did a good job of finding someone to take a couple of cats. There were 3 girls and 1 boy. 2 of the girls my daughters found homes for. My oldest daughter was like, I want to keep the boy. I made the decision to keep the one that I basically delivered. That is Bean. That is my Bean. And it's probably the first time in my life that I actually truly emotionally connected to an animal. We didn't really have a lot of animals growing up, so I connected with her. And then when the kittens were about 10 weeks, Wanda started attacking us. And so we had to take her to one of my daughter's friend's house who had a bunch of like outdoor cats, and she took her. And then we were able to find good homes for 2 of the kittens, and then we kept 2 of the kittens. And then at some point after that, my son moved out with his 2 cats. So then we moved to an apartment. My youngest daughter goes off to college. She eventually takes her 2 cats, and my oldest daughter had moved out. So now we're down to 1. We have 1 cat. My niece, again, has a cat that is pregnant and gives birth, and she sends us pictures of the kittens right after they're born. And immediately I see one looks black but was gray, and I was like, that's it, that's mine, that's the one I want. And we go over pretty much I want to say we went over there every week to check in on them and play with them or whatever. That one, we ended up getting her, she was like 7 or 8 weeks. I would have liked for her to stay with the mom for a little bit longer, but she wasn't weaned. The mom wasn't feeding the girl cats as well as she was feeding the boy cat, and the kittens weren't eating regular food yet. I don't know. So anyways, we ended up taking her early and getting her on a good kitten diet. And when you bring a new cat into the house, you're supposed to keep them separated from your cats. So my daughter's cats were still here, and then Bean. And so we kept her in, I think youngest daughter kept her in her room for a couple weeks until she got her shots and everything, and then introduced her to the other ones. And then my daughter went off for her, whatever, I think 3rd year of college. I don't remember what it was. She went off to college and took her cats with her that time. So we're down to 2 cats in the house, Bean, and then our newest one, who is now 5 years old. And her name is Absalom. And if you don't know what that is, the hookah smoking caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland. But we call her Peanut. So now we've got Mad Hatter that we call Bean, and we've got Absalom, but we call her Peanut. Okay, 2 cats. That's all I need, right? 2 cats. At the time, I still had my 2 youngest sons home with me, but my middle son was getting ready to go off to college. So it was just going to be me and my youngest son. Fast forward a couple years, and I'm out at a coffee shop with a friend of mine. We were both in PhD programs, and so we were out at a coffee shop I was working on my dissertation. I think she was working on classwork or something like that. And she goes, oh my gosh. And she said one of her coworkers had sent her a picture of 2 kittens that they came across when they were out walking their dogs. And both of the kittens had just run up to them and were super friendly. And so she's showing me pictures, right? And one of them was a black cat, and then the other one was a calico. And my oldest one, Bean, she's a tortie, which is why we call her Bean. She looks like a bean. And then Peanut is actually all gray. She's like a blue Russian. I had been wanting a calico. She shows me the picture, and they're both cute, but then she shows me the picture of the calico, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love her so much. And I was like, ask them if she's a girl, and then I was like, duh, calicos are always girls. And so I was like, I'll take her. And so the next day I went and picked her up, and I took her straight to the vet, made sure got medicine, because all cats, when they're first born, they have parasites and things, and got her first round of shots and everything. She was about 9 weeks old, and she is the most loving, precious baby. Named her Alice. Do you see the theme going on here? Right? Yeah. Alice in Wonderland, Absalom, Mad Hatter. Yeah. But we call her Pumpkin Pie. Pumpkin Pie or Pumpkin. Pumpkin because she looks like little pumpkin pie. And then, yes, if you haven't picked up on it, our nicknames are all food. She's almost 3 years old. So our oldest Bean is just absolutely pissed that there's other cats in her house. She's, I want nothing to do with you. Leave me alone. I don't want to play with you. And then my little Peanut, when I brought home the new baby, she was like, wait a minute. Why is she in the other room? Why can't I play with her? I need to play with her. I need to take care of her. She's my baby. And she is, even though Pumpkin is now twice her size. Okay, so now we have 3 cats, right? And I'm like, that's it. We have 3 cats. No more. We don't need any more cats. Last year in 2024, March 2024, I lost my middle son. He was 21 years old and he would have been 22 the end of August. Okay. Fast forward to October and I'm in North Carolina in October with my coven for our Samhain celebration. Okay. And we are not even at a house that we know. We're at like an Airbnb or a Verbo. And it's Saturday. We're all hanging out outside, doing some different crafts, doing some different tarot readings. And suddenly me and someone else at the same time, we were like, I think I just heard a cat. And then someone else was like, yeah, I think I just heard a cat too. We just hear this little sound, right? And so we start looking for where this cat could possibly be. And behind the deck, there was a refrigerator, freezer, or a cooler. I don't even know what it was. But anyways, a couple people got down there and started trying to look to see if they could find this cat. And we couldn't find her. One of my friends that lives in North Carolina, she was like, if we can find her and nobody wants to take her or whatever, I can just take her back to my house because she got a farm and they have a million cats outside anyways. I told one of my coven sisters, I was like, hey, can you like pull up on your phone like a video of cat mom noises? Because we tried food. We were pretty sure she was under the deck, but we couldn't get food to entice her out. And so my coven sister pulled up like cat mom noises on YouTube. And as soon as she started playing those, the kitten just started like going crazy. She just started meowing and she definitely was under the deck. And we got her to come closer and closer to the edge, but not enough where anyone could grab her. I got in front of the deck in front of the house because the land tilted up. So at the back of the deck, you couldn't even get your arm in there. But towards the front of the house, there was enough of a gap that you could probably see and grab her. I told my coven sister to come around the front and then stay close to the deck until the cat came closer to the edge and then like slowly back away just to try to entice her out. But as soon as we saw her, I was like, oh my God, I love her. She's my water. She's mine. And it was another all gray cat, another like blue Russian. And we got her to just come out from underneath the deck and we were able to grab her and took her into the bathroom so that we could get her some food and get her a litter box. We never heard any other cats. We never heard a mom, nothing. So I don't know if she just somehow got separated from her mom, because I'm assuming that there were other siblings too, or if mom and siblings got taken by another animal. We don't know. We don't know what happened. I looked at her and I was like, she's got to be about 7 weeks because she didn't have blue eyes anymore, which meant she was over 5 weeks, but she wasn't quite big enough for me to say she was 9 weeks. I looked at her and I was like, she's got to be like 7 weeks. And we took turns being with her in the bathroom. There really wasn't any other room to put her in where we could shut the door. And so the next day was the day that everyone was going home. I drove to North Carolina. So I had a 15-hour drive back home with this kitten. My friend that lived in North Carolina said that she had extra cat carriers. She went home and got a cat carrier for me to put the kitten in. Once we got packed up and got the Verbo cleaned up, I got on the road, stopped at Walmart, got her some food, got her some toys. I actually got some puppy pads to put down on the bottom of the cat carrier since I didn't have any way to put a litter box in there. Every time I stopped, I would clean out her cat carrier, give her some food and water, and hold her. She was just the sweetest little thing. I'll probably pop some pictures of the cats up as I'm talking about them. Anyway, when I get into town, I go straight to the vet because look, I have cats at home. I don't want to bring animals into my house that would jeopardize my animals that I already have. So I took her straight to the vet. I was able to give them a stool sample. They gave me medicine, and the vet was like, oh, she's about 7 weeks, I would say. And I was like, yes, I knew it. For some reason, they didn't give her first set of, this is distemper, I don't, whatever it is, the first shots that they give them. They didn't give them to her, which my little Peanut, she got her first set at 6 weeks. So I don't know why they didn't give them to her, but I had to go back in 2 weeks to get her first set for that. And then she ended up having another parasite. So they had to give me more medicine for that. And then in 3 weeks for her second, I think it's distemper, whatever it is. And then another 3 weeks for first rabies shot. So she had to stay separated from the other cats for about 4 weeks. And I moved her back and forth between my bedroom and the bathrooms to keep her separated. But I 150% believe that my son sent her to me. She would have been born right around his birthday. And the moment I looked at her, I knew that she was meant for me. And I've never questioned that. Just going on a year now. And she's all mine. She's all mine. I love her to death. But her naming situation has been very interesting because all of my coven wanted to name her Samhain since she was our Samhain coven kitty that we found her. But Samhain also doesn't fit with my naming thing that I got going on here. So I named her the Red Queen Samhain, whatever. But we call her Nugget. She's our little Nugget, little Nuggy Pie. And that is the story of all of my babies. Now, my human baby is getting ready to go off to college. My youngest is getting ready to go off to college here in the next couple weeks. This first year, he is not taking any kitties with him just because he's going to be in the dorm. He's trying to get settled. He's trying to get used to the flow of what college life is like. Our oldest cat really loved my middle son. She really wants to be an only cat. Next year, he is going to take her with him when he goes to college. I will have the other 3 and they will move with me when I move. That is the story of how I got my kitten babies, right? Because we're not going to go into the story of how I got my human babies, at least not right now. I hope that was interesting. I think it is unique how people get their animals. They all came into my life. For any of them, I did not purposely I think I want another cat. They all came to me. They were meant to be with me. So thank you so much for sticking around. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and hit the like button. It really does help. What a wonderful way to support someone that doesn't cost you anything, right? Subscribe button. And in the comment section, tell me about your animals. What animals do you have? How many do you have? Do you have any unique animals? All right. I will see you in the next one.